Imagine sitting at Sunday dinner with your entire family. Your parents are talking about rising grocery prices. Your cousin is complaining about his car payment. Your aunt is stressing over her upcoming rent. Everyone is anxious. Everyone is arguing about money. And then there's you. You're sitting there, quietly chewing your food, looking down at your phone. You just received a private notification. Your net worth just officially crossed $10 million. You look up at your mom. You look at your dad. And you realize you now have more wealth than your entire family line has generated in the last 3 generations combined. You have single-handedly broken a cycle of financial struggle that has lasted for a century. But here's the strangest part. You can't tell a single person in that room. Because if you tell them, everything changes. The dynamic shatters. You instantly become a bank, an outsider, a villain, or a target. So, you take a sip of your water, smile at your mom's joke, and keep the secret to yourself. Welcome to the reality of becoming the first person in your bloodline to hit $10 million. It is the ultimate American dream, but nobody ever tells you about the heavy psychological price you pay. The exact moment you actually get there. When you build that kind of wealth from absolute scratch, especially in places like the US or the UK, your entire worldview shifts. Growing up, money was probably a loud topic in your house. It was a constant source of arguments, anxiety, and late-night whispers between your parents. You were programmed to believe that money is scarce, that you have to fight for every single dollar, and that the rich are just lucky. But when you break the matrix and hit that $10 million mark, you realize something shocking. Money isn't scarce at all, it's everywhere. It flows like water, once you understand the rules of leverage and equity. But as your mind expands, a strange wall begins to build between you and the people who raised you. You try to talk to your childhood friends, but they are still trapped in the Monday to Friday survival loop. They want to complain about their boss. You want to talk about buying cash-flowing assets. They want to talk about saving $50 on a flight, while you are thinking about how to buy back 10 hours of your life by hiring an executive assistant. Suddenly, you don't speak the same language anymore. You aren't arrogant. You don't think you're better than them, but your reality has completely changed. And theirs has stayed exactly the same. You realize that wealth doesn't just buy freedom, it buys isolation. You would think that having $10 million in liquid assets and real estate would make you feel incredibly safe. But if you are the first in your family to do it, your brain doesn't work that way. People who inherit wealth grow up with a safety net. They know what money feels like. But when you create it from nothing, you suffer from what psychologists call financial phantom pain. Even with millions in the bank, you still find yourself checking the price of a menu item at a restaurant. You still hesitate before upgrading to a first-class seat on a flight, even though the cost is literally 0.001% of your net worth. Your brain is still hardwired to survive. Deep down, a small irrational voice whispers, "What if it all vanishes tomorrow? What if this is all a dream, and you wake up back in that small apartment with $0?" This is why the first-generation ultra-wealthy often look the poorest. You don't buy the flashy sports cars or flash big logos because, well, you don't need validation from strangers. Your wealth is your shield, not your outfit. You wear plain clothes and drive a 10-year-old SUV because peace of mind matters more to you than looking rich to people you don't even like. Now, let's talk about the hardest part of this journey. The part people never really break down. It's called survivor's guilt. When you escape the rat race, you look back and see your parents still working hard jobs in their 60s. You see your siblings struggling to pay off their student loans or mortgages. Your immediate instinct is to fix it. You want to write a check and wipe out everyone's debt. You want to buy your parents a mansion, but if you do that without caution, you quickly learn a brutal lesson about human psychology. When you give people money they didn't earn, you don't solve their problems. You create a dependency. Suddenly you stop being a son, a daughter, or a sibling. You become a financial institution. Every time they call you, your stomach tightens because you wonder, are they calling to say, "I love you"? Or are they calling because their furnace broke and they need $5,000? If you say yes every time, you ruin the relationship. If you say no, you become the greedy, selfish, rich person who changed because of money. It is a heartbreaking paradox. You broke the cycle so your family wouldn't have to suffer, but the very wealth you created can alienate you from the people you love the most. You have to learn the painful art of helping in silence, paying off a bill anonymously, or setting up trust funds for nieces and nephews without them ever knowing it came from you. You have to protect them from your wealth, and you have to protect your wealth from them. So, why 10 million? Why is this number the ultimate psychological turning point in Western society? At $1 million, you are secure, but you still have to watch your expenses. At 5 million, you are free, but you still think about the cost of major life changes. But at $10 million, invested properly at a conservative 5% return, your capital generates $500,000 a year in passive income, without you ever lifting a finger, without you ever waking up to an alarm clock. That is the moment money stops being a tool for survival and becomes a tool for absolute autonomy. You don't care about luxury assets anymore. The greatest luxury you realize you own is the word no. No, I don't have to take that meeting. No, I don't have to deal with that toxic person. No, I don't have to trade my time for a paycheck ever again. You have bought back your entire life. You own 24 hours of your day. You have achieved what 99% of human beings on this planet will never experience: absolute ownership of your time. If you are watching this video right now, chances are you are the one in your family who carries this heavy ambition. You are the one who stays up late, watches these videos, studies the markets, and feels like an outsider in your own circle. It is a lonely path. It is a confusing path. As you move forward, keep this in mind. The discomfort you feel right now, the feeling that you don't belong in the environment you were born into, is just your DNA realizing it's time to build a new foundation. You are rewriting the history of your last name. When you finally hit that number, and you're standing at the top of that mountain in complete silence, you will realize that the sacrifice was worth it. Not because of the cars you can buy, or the houses you can own, but because your future children will never have to worry about the survival loops that almost broke you. You paid the price so they could live in freedom. Stay silent. Keep building. Let them think you're failing until your bank account proves otherwise.